New guidance from the Financial Conduct Authority states that businesses must ensure fair outcomes and take on an additional duty of care for customers in vulnerable circumstances. VCX provides training for customer-facing employees and a live database that provides instant information to support vulnerable customers, bring compassion to the forefront of businesses, and to safeguard their own emotional well-being.
Updated regulations from the Financial Conduct Authority are a challenge for businesses who are used to prioritising profit rather than the mental health of customers and employees.
There is this lens of vulnerability which particularly the FCA and many other regulatory bodies across other utilities in particular are putting on service providers to say, have you done enough? Have you done enough to understand this person's circumstances? And if you haven't, then we're going to hold you to account for that.
Having to discuss the personal issues of many customers can place a strain on the mental health of staff, which is why there needs to be a culture change in how businesses conduct themselves. Conversations with staff and their management led Chris to co-create the Vulnerable Customer Experience, or VCX, an e-learning platform which trains employees to deal compassionately with people who might be struggling. One module on purpose and culture draws on research by Alex Edmonds, which used real-world data to show that focusing on staff well-being ultimately pays off.
So what I found was that over a 28-year period, companies that treated their employees well beat their peers in terms of shareholder returns by 2.3 to 3.8% per year. That's 89 to 184% compounded. So it finds that, simply put, companies that treat their workers better do better.
As well as the training modules, VCX created the Signpost database, which offers helpful information on over 1,000 health conditions, financial situations, and life experiences.
The Signpost will give them a little bit of information about what the customer's actually disclosed, but most importantly, it will give them some tools to actually scaffold the conversation. And then it also has 4 organisations which provide professional support and counselling in those particular areas that have been vetted by us.
The Vulnerability Registration Service is also signposted here. Anyone can register their difficulties, ranging from mental health issues to debt problems. Organisations then access that information to identify who needs support. VRS training webinars are seeing high levels of corporate engagement.
Well, a lot of the organisations that we're speaking to see training as a key factor. So it's all very well identifying vulnerable individuals, but clearly customer service staff who have a huge amount of pressure on them anyway need that training and support to be able to work and offer people the right levels of support.
One of my members of my team, she was on a call with somebody and they started to mention that they were feeling suicidal or having suicidal thoughts due to a situation that the bank had put them into about PPI and charges.
Claire's team had no access to the VCX system at the time.
When you're talking about vulnerable customers, you're also dealing with not people with just suicidal thoughts or mental health issues, but actual physical illnesses, which sometimes they tell you what the illness is and you're not a GP or any medical knowledge, you don't understand what it is. Something like the Signpost is really good because you can just basically click on it and have a real overall view without going into too much information about what that illness may be.
In order to manage the well-being of both staff and customers, businesses will have to look beyond short-term KPIs.
You've got to look at the long-term objective, which is supporting our customers, building relationships, and really making sure that we're there for people. And that's not something that you do overnight. That's something which does take a length of time. You've got to realise that in the long run, it will pay dividends.
Companies willing to invest in technology like VCX show they've understood that.
It really underpins a cultural shift within the organisation that says we care about our customers, we care about our staff, we recognise the fact that some customers and employees are going to have some really tricky conversations and we're going to support them through that.